You believe that vetting people at the border is racist, do you not?
I'm sorry?
You believe that vetting people at the border is racist, do you not?
No, I've never said that. I believe that having secure borders is important, and we have processes that allow individuals to come into the country the right way. Absolutely.
You believe that people should be able to violate federal immigration laws without consequences, don't you?
No, sir, I do not. I believe that anyone who violates federal or state law needs to be held accountable, and there need to be consequences.
You don't believe in cooperating with ICE, do you?
I believe in cooperating with federal authorities, as I do. A number of federal agencies I cooperate with, and I certainly would cooperate with ICE if they would cooperate with me.
Okay. You were elected in 2018, Sheriff, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. On April 18, 2018, you gave an interview with a media organization called Indie Week. Do you remember that?
I'm familiar with the paper, yes.
Okay. Here's what you said. I'm quoting you, your words, not mine. I disagree with the incumbent sheriffs. That's the guy you beat. With the incumbent sheriff's cooperation with ICE. I will make a clear and uncompromising commitment to not cooperate with ICE. As sheriff, I will not honor ICE detainers, and we will not participate in ICE roundups, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In April of last year, you spoke to a group of ICE employees. Do you remember that?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, well, there was an article in a media organization, a media entity called the Assembly. Are you familiar with them? Do you remember?
I've heard of the Assembly, yes, sir.
Yeah, do you remember giving them an interview?
I give several interviews.
Sure.
I actually don't remember that particular one, but I'm...
Okay. Well, here's what you said in the interview, apparently on the record. These ICE employees that you spoke to, you were referencing them, and you said, quote, these ICE officials, asked me, so Sheriff, if someone is about to be released from your jail and the detainer is about to expire, you will call us and let us know? What was my answer? You said, no, because that's not what the law says. No, I will not call ICE. End quote. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
And, sir, Senator, that was before the new law, which is now House Bill 318, which requires me to make that second phone call.
Right. Yeah.
Prior to that, it was not state law, which I follow and all my deputies follow.
Sure.
And so now we do make that second phone call. But ICE agents are notified whenever someone is entered processed into my jail.
Do you need some water? Because I think your pants are on fire.
Okay.
Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Carlos Heriberto Mendoza Martinez?
Not right off, sir, no.
Okay. Sheriff, you should. He was in our country illegally from Mexico. He was in a street gang. Back in Mexico, he was convicted of manslaughter. And he was in your jail. And because in 2021 and 2024, Mr. Martinez was arrested for assaulting a woman and domestic violence. And ICE placed a detainer on this guy because he was in our country illegally. And he was a criminal. And he was in your jail. And you wouldn't honor that detainer, would you?
I can't say that I did not honor the detainer.
I can.
I can say what I did honor was the conditions of the release that were issued by a judge. And so therefore, and once again, ICE was notified that they could come
Do
pick
you
up
really
this individual.
believe in public safety?
Yes, sir, I do.
You would allow someone in our country, illegally, convicted of manslaughter, convicted of domestic violence, in your jail. ICE says, please hold him when his time is up. We want to get this criminal out of our country. And you said no.
ICE was notified that they could come pick up the individual, and for some reason they did not. And the judge issued the conditions of release. I am a custodian. I do not determine who is released or held. I follow the court's order.
Sheriff, I don't mean any disrespect, but you ought to be ashamed of that. How can you possibly be for public safety if you hate our immigration laws so much that you would let a convicted murderer back on the street? Do you really hate immigration laws that much?
Senator John Kennedy delivered one of the most aggressive exchanges of the hearing when he confronted Durham County Sheriff Clarence Birkhead over his past positions on immigration enforcement and cooperation with ICE. From the opening moments, Kennedy framed the debate around a simple question. What is the responsibility of local law enforcement when dealing with individuals who are in the country illegally and have criminal records? The sheriff repeatedly stated that he supports secure borders and believes people who violate federal or state laws should face consequences. But Kennedy wasn't interested in general statements. He came armed with receipts. The senator quoted Birkhead's own words from 2018, when he promised an uncompromising commitment not to cooperate with ICE detainers and said his office would not participate in ICE operations. That immediately put the sheriff on the defensive because it appeared to contradict his testimony that he cooperates with federal authorities. Then Kennedy turned up the heat. He cited another interview in which Birkhead reportedly stated that he would not call ICE when a detainee was about to be released. The sheriff acknowledged making the statement but argued that state law at the time did not require such notification. He emphasized that his office now follows updated North Carolina law and makes the required calls. But Kennedy wasn't buying it. The hearing's most explosive moment came when the senator accused the sheriff of being inconsistent, delivering the memorable line, "I think your pants are on fire." That remark instantly changed the tone of the exchange from a policy disagreement into a direct challenge to the sheriff's credibility. The confrontation escalated further when Kennedy highlighted the case of an individual who had reportedly entered the country illegally, had a prior manslaughter conviction in Mexico, and later faced domestic violence allegations. Kennedy argued that ICE wanted custody of the individual, yet local authorities released him. The sheriff pushed back, arguing that judges, not sheriffs, decide who gets released. He maintained that ICE had been notified and could have taken custody if it chose to do so. In his view, he was following court orders, not making immigration policy. That response underscores the larger national debate. Critics argue that refusing to honor ICE detainers can allow dangerous individuals to avoid federal immigration enforcement. Supporters counter that local law enforcement should follow constitutional safeguards, court orders, and state laws rather than acting as an extension of federal immigration authorities. What made this exchange so compelling wasn't just the policy disagreement, it was the clash of priorities. Kennedy focused relentlessly on public safety and the consequences of releasing individuals with serious criminal histories. The sheriff focused on legal process, judicial authority, and the limits of local law enforcement power. By the end, neither side had moved. Kennedy concluded that the sheriff's actions endangered public safety. The sheriff maintained that he followed the law exactly as required. And that's why this hearing resonated far beyond the committee room. It exposed a fundamental question facing communities across America. When immigration enforcement, local authority, and public safety collide, who should bear responsibility, and where should the line be drawn? That's a debate that is far from over. What do you think? Should local sheriffs honor ICE detainers whenever federal authorities request them, or should they only follow state law and court orders? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the latest hearings, investigations, and political showdowns from Washington.